Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 18 and over, welcome to another season of Talking Busch. I am your host, David Pikus. I am coming to you live from our South Minneapolis studio. Always sitting on my left, we have the commissioner of the league. He is buddies with Putin, but you can't find him on the road scooting. Matty Train. Matty, how are you doing tonight?
You know what? I'm doing really, really good.
Good. Glad to hear it. I think we are coming to everybody live on the YouTube.
Hopefully.
As well as we'll be streaming this throughout other platforms coming up in the next few days. Coming to us also live from our Paynesville, Minnesota studios, we have a starting wide receiver for the Ridgewater Warriors 2004 and 2005. He's our JUCO transfer. Johnny Thompson, how are you doing tonight?
Thank you for the flattering intro. Appreciate that.
No problem. Getting everybody excited. Season 2, we're on our way.
Yeah, man. Let's do this. Pumped.
Well, let's start out here.
Sound like it.
I am. I don't know about you. I have a mini erection underneath the desk here.
I can't even.
I have to hide it. It's inappropriate for the internet.
That's why we say girls over 18, John.
That's true.
We keep it legal here. I mean, I woke up this morning, 55 degrees out. I think I immediately grew back all my pubes and some facial hair before I showered because football weather is back. I'm a football weather guy. I think, John, you're a football weather guy. It might get a little cold for this scrawny little man over here, but I love this weather and I love this time of year.
It was beautiful this morning. It was crisp. It was awesome. Fall is in the air. Football is back, baby.
There's something about it.
Get excited.
There's something about it. It's not quite like seeing your breath in the morning. I mean, that's the ultimate, but it's pretty damn sweet.
It is awesome. It is my absolute favorite time of the year. We are a week away from Gopher football, college football coming back. We got awesome news. I was kind of tracking it on the way over. You know, it sounds like the Board of Trustees over at Ohio State wants Urban Meyer to just go back to coaching just like he wants to, but the president of that school that wears a bow tie every day and has for the last 7 years, wore a bow tie every day, wants him to serve some sort of suspension. So we're going to get some news in the next few days on that, and it's going to be great. I absolutely love it. But let's not forget about summer. Johnny, how was your summer this year? You got making big plans, putting some baby room stuff together. What do you got going on?
Yeah, my wife and I are expecting our first child here. It's supposed to be September 9th, which, as many of you know, is the opener, the NFL opener for Sunday. So, this future dad is hoping for a birth, hopefully prior to 11:30 or after 3:30. I'm just kidding. Whenever she wants to make her way into the world, she's more than welcome to. We can't wait for her to get here. So, but I think Dave and I were talking off air. If I am able to watch the game, which I guarantee I won't be, my wife will probably have the TVs banned from the room. Be pretty sweet if something miraculous happened as my daughter was born, but I doubt that'll happen. So
true.
But yeah, we're pretty excited. So my wife is nesting, so everything's put together. The whole thing's ready. We're ready for her to show up. So.
Well, I love it. John Thompson, Matt, recently took a new job as a brewer at the Third Street Brew House.
You don't say.
He did.
Hey, good for you, John.
Good for me.
Oh,
yeah,
good for you.
Make beer for a living. How about that?
Yeah, congrats on that. But listen to this setup he's got now.
All
John,
right.
what time do you start work every day?
I actually go into work. I leave the house at 7:30 p.m. at night. I
Okay.
usually
You
get
stop
there
there.
by about 8. Okay.
7:30 p.m. at night.
What time do you get home from work? In the morning?
My shift is supposed to be over at 4 a.m.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
usually get home about 4:30 in the morning.
So, Matt, you recently were a new dad about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When is the most stressful time of being a dad?
Yeah, it's about that time. It's
Weird.
yeah.
Come on, man.
It is. It
We're
is.
gonna
The
start-
the worst time for kids not to sleep is like between 3 and 5 in the morning, man.
So that's
Why,
right
why
in
you
the.
gotta dog me? Why you
Hey,
gotta
not
dog me
dog-
like that? I'm
you
trying to
might be a
provide.
genius. You might be onto something. But anybody I know that takes a pay cut to go work the night shift when he's got a brand new baby is just he gets it. He gets
yeah.
it.
Unbelievable. I'm just trying to provide for my family, man. That's all. I'm just trying to put a roof over my family's head, and you gotta dog me like that
Just-
on the interwebs.
Hey,
How
just
dare
speaking
you?
the truth.
How
Hey,
dare
you
you?
might be a genius. I'm just saying. All right, Maddie, what about
Yes,
you?
sir.
Great summer?
Yeah, really good summer.
Yeah, sounds like you took maybe a couple of trips.
Yeah, I've been around for work. Some high levels here. Yeah, I've been around for work this summer. I've been to San Antonio, heading to San Francisco here in a couple weeks. Houston.
Oh, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just a traveling man.
Yeah. I don't know that
Well,
it's necessarily a good thing,
how-
but
Tell us more about how great your life is.
no, it's not a great thing. It's definitely not. The San Francisco trip sounds nice. I have to leave on Sunday morning, and then I have meeting after meeting after meeting, hour-apiece slots for 4 days. So
Yikes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yuck.
Well, glad
you
that
guys
your-
want to do that, be my guest.
Your summer was real
Not
great.
painless.
You know, I personally had, maybe the best summer of fishing that I've ever had.
Nice.
Went up to Lake of the Woods a couple weeks ago. The boat averaged walleye every 10 minutes for 3.5 days of fishing. You can't beat it. Big fish, little fish, all the fish. So it's just been great. Had a great couple of trips up to Mille Lacs. Been up to Leech Lake in Walker. So it's been really great. We had a great golf weekend.
Mm-hmm. That's
In
fun.
Benson, Minnesota, maybe one of the best weekends I've had 2018. Also going up to Nisswa, to Madden's in a couple weeks to get a good golf weekend in as well. So all that leading right into just my favorite time of the year, football season, and the Gophers winning about 8 games this year.
Yeah, it's a sweet spot from about now until Christmas.
Well, there's not a Sunday between now and the end of January that there's not a football game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just phenomenal to me, and I love it.
Gophers are this weekend?
Home this Thursday, a week from tomorrow.
Week from tomorrow. Okay.
Yep, 6 p.m.
You going?
New Mexico State. I will be in attendance.
Nice.
True freshman quarterback. Your thoughts?
He started over a 4-star recruit at IMG last year. I think he's going to do just fine.
Well, he doesn't have. I mean, the bar is set so low at the University of Minnesota. I mean, he doesn't have to play all that well for people to get excited. Just be a competent quarterback.
I mean, I honestly think that we're going to, normally with PJ Fleck offense, it's about 83 to 86 plays a game. We're going to throw the ball maybe 30 times a game. So, really, I don't think that he's going to have to make any more than 10 passes over 10 yards.
Yeah.
And we'll just, run our routes and hit the guy that's open and be smart about it and not just be a gunslinger, and I think we're going to be okay.
I disagree. Be a gunslinger. Take some chances. Let's make this
Yeah. Let's find a player. How about that?
Well, I mean,
Let's-
we're going to be
let's make
smart
this
about it.
the
We got
Eric
guys that can catch the
Coryell
ball.
of college football. Let's just sling that baby like Dan Fouts is out there back in the 70s with his awesome goatee.
Yikes.
Just let it fly, baby.
All right.
Just let it go.
Well, we'll do something. I mean, we're not like your Iowa Hawkeyes that had guys that got so drunk that they just mistakenly got in cop cars and thought it was an Uber and asked for a ride
Sorry, we
home.
like to party, man. We like to party. You've been to Iowa City. You know how it is down there. It's cray.
Well, I mean, the one thing I do know for sure is there's not a judge in that state that would charge this kid for anything. So he'll be
Absolutely
getting
not.
off scot-free.
those guys are just getting community service, and they're serving their time. They're not playing the first game of the year. What do you want from them?
I heard 70,000 strong now at the fucking Kinnick Stadium.
Yeah,
with the new renovations.
The end zone that we sat in for the game, they tore down and basically
which would be
built
across
it back
from the
up.
student section for those who didn't go to the game.
Yeah.
And for our live listening audience.
So they tore her down, built her back up. It's got some suites on that end zone. It looks pretty awesome. It's just going to make that place even more ruckus and loud, which is awesome.
Sure.
So bring it on, man. Looking forward to I think Phil and I probably feel about the same way. Maybe not. Maybe he can chime in via Twitter or chime into our Gmail at talkingbushpodcast.com.
And I can confirm if you
don't have very high expectations, so we're just hoping for a decent season.
Yeah. What's that Twitter that we're looking out for?
Matt, is it Busch League MN?
Busch League MN, Busch League football. We posted the link to the live stream is on Twitter right now. If you're listening to us, you already know that, but you'll be able to find it there after the fact, and follow us on Twitter to get all the updates. Also, our Slack is connected to our Twitter, so this stuff is feeding directly into Slack automatically.
Magic. Let's talk about Slack. I think we are 100% active now.
Yeah, we got everybody in. I don't think that we've got messages from everybody quite yet, and we're feeling our way through it.
I think it's working all right.
We're progressing.
Awesome. So that's one of the new things with Busch League 2018, year 16 on the ballot. Year 15, if we don't count year 0, like most people do. Let's talk a little bit about the league. The entry fee went up to $90, I believe, as per voted in the off season. We got the payouts going to be top heavy. That'll probably come out in the next couple weeks, definitely before the season. It looked like maybe you had something on there but pulled it off.
Yeah, we're gonna rework it and just make sure we got everything where we want it to be. But yeah, look for that to come out soon.
Okay. Looks like when I was digging through, maybe some bringing the defenses back down to real life, so they're not an all-star player like in last year.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit to that. I mean, the good defenses are still going to score similar points. The difference is that if your defense has an off day, you're not going to get buried by 30 points in the defense category.
Okay.
So we're tightening that a little bit, making the differentiation between good and bad not quite so big.
Okay, that'll work. John, have you been watching Hard Knocks on HBO?
I have.
Did you have you seen the most recent episode?
I have.
Oh, do you want to just give us a quick recap?
It's pretty good.
This is episode 3?
Yeah, episode 3. So there's been some good action on Hard Knocks. Just a quick couple of recaps. One I found very interesting, episode 1, Carl Nazip, defensive lineman, giving economic tutorials to the defensive line room. Hilarious.
Yeah,
even though his mathematics was wrong, and we all agreed that you cannot find anywhere with 10% interest rate to put your money in.
You just put it in this thing and you get 10%, man. It's great.
Yeah.
Ooh, he turned 630,000 into 6.4 million.
Yeah. So that was hilarious.
He's got the right idea, though.
The best part of episode 2 was an offensive lineman. I'm not sure what his name is or was, if he's still with the team, but he calls Carl out and actually says what we just agreed to, which is good luck finding 10% anywhere. And Carl was like, I don't even know what you're talking about, man. Like, it just made him kind of look stupid right on TV. And so that was good. I'm kind of a fan of Brogy, which is the 4-string quarterback, Brogan. I don't even know his last name.
Yeah.
But he is just a Todd and a half, and I love it. So episode 3, I think the winner of episode 3 is offensive line coach Bob Wiley. He's just a roly-poly Santa Claus.
That guy is a football coordinator to a T. He has
Yeah.
the goofiest looking body, but he just knows football like no other.
So he had a couple of great one-liners. I think he was showing at one point he was showing his offensive line group videos of animals that have low center of gravity and they take short steps. And he told his offensive line group that shorter is better than longer regarding steps. And he goes, "This is the only time you'll ever hear shorter is better." And everybody just bust out laughing. So,
I just pulled up the picture of him
Oh yeah.
for Matt
yeah,
to see.
he's pretty funny. He talked about
It looks
You
like
know,
a toad sitting on a log.
how stupid stretching is, how people in world wars never stretched. They just ran and climbed ropes and they won 2 world wars.
They're
Just-
the greatest
Just
generation.
ridiculous. Apparently,
Here, I
I
have that
totally
quote.
forgot this.
World
I
War
forgot
One,
this, Dave.
World War
Um,
Two, they did push-ups, jumping jacks, sit-ups. They won 2 world wars. You think they
Yeah,
were worried
it-
when they were running across Normandy about fucking stretching?
Right. And then he had a good quote too. He apparently drives a white Maserati, and he gave his keys to the valet, and he told the valet driver, "No Ferris Bueller shit."
That's
How
so
awesome
good.
is that?
That's so good.
So he's my MVP of episode 3. I mean, and there was a couple other things. Brad Paisley was there. Des Bryant obviously came and visited.
Baker Mayfield
no
running
signing
after
yet,
Bad
Bob
Paisley.
Wiley, he is my MVP of episode 3.
I love it. All right, let's hop in the Busch League 2018 and our draft. A couple Sundays ago, we had a little bit of scheduling conflicts around the league, so we bumped it up a little bit. But we still managed to have it happen. A little bit weird, but there's some pretty good talking points that came out of it. Let's just go around and kind of break it down position by position. Maybe the main 4 for our league. And then let's get into some of the big talkers before John's got to go to work tonight. So we have
Dreams. I got dreams to make, baby.
quarterbacks
Dreams.
first we're going to talk about. So we got 20 drafted. The high was $18 in the auction. The low was obviously $1 minimum. The overall average was $5. Top drafted quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. No shock there. Coming off the injury, real gunslinger. Got a great mustache right now. Went for $18. Phil Bastron took him. Nothing really too crazy down the line here. I did find out today that Tom Brady has a lineman right now that's gonna be starting. I believe he's an offensive tackle. He is 6'8", and they're gonna have him a playing weight of 430 pounds.
Dang.
And he can move.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's a big fucking guy.
That's the mountain, man.
Yeah. So I picked up Tom Brady, $14. Real good pickup on my part. Kirk Cousins, $6. That was probably a steal. Same. Drew Brees, $7. That was probably a steal by Lang. A lot of people are worried about Carson Wentz, if he's going to be ready to play in time, how he's going to bounce back. I've been watching some of his outdoor videos this summer. He's agile. He'll be able to do it. I think they're just holding him out and coming up with some injury reports for kind of the preseason to not wreck some shit up. So Soup should be okay there. Where are you guys at on quarterbacks and who got some steals out of this year's draft? Besides Matt Stafford for $1.
That was the best value.
No one cares about that pick.
Yeah, but that was the best value. That's the answer to your question.
Hey, who made that pick? I just want to know. I can't find it anywhere.
No,
Bueller?
I missed out on it. Jeff Bottom Grieve
Jeff,
Top, I
Jeff
believe.
Bottom Grieve Top made that pick.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Looking,
I don't think you have a lot outside of that. I think that the quarterback position was slotted pretty well. I mean, it was right on line with what we've done in previous years, and in the quarterback category in terms of money spent and how it's distributed and everything like that. I mean, Russell Wilson did lead all quarterbacks in fantasy points last year.
it's true. He did.
Who got him?
Does he play?
I don't know.
That'd be me
Oh,
I don't think it'd be that great.
for $12.
He's having sex now. All right, boys, we have on-the-fly draft advice coming from one of our listeners. They are in a 12-team snake draft, non-PPR. They have the 10th pick. What do you go with?
What is a snake draft?
wow.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Are we in the prehistoric era? Snake draft?
This is the real deal. Number 10 pick. He's
10,
got-
and so they just want what they want, only number 10, or they get to bring it back, so
They
they
want-
want number 10 and number 1 of round 2.
Well, it'll be 10 and number 3 of round 2.
12 team.
12 teams.
Oh, 12 team, got it.
Yep.
Okay, just number 10.
So definitely, you probably go with number 1 available running back with the first one, depending on who was taken wide receiver wise.
It depends. At 10, you've got to kind of know what went in front of you. If you went running back heavy, if one of the top 5 guys isn't on the board, I think it's wide receiver. That's what I think.
Okay.
And coming back, I might even stretch on Gronk.
Okay.
Gronk or
Yeah,
Rodgers
I
if
would
you want to go
agree,
different
because
position.
You can never predict what someone else is going to do.
Right.
So someone
Right.
might get really squirrely and pick, they might pick Gronk number 3 overall.
True.
So
Right.
you just gotta wait and see. You gotta feel it out, man. It's like a woman. You gotta just sit back and just
No,
feel
keep
her
going.
out. See where you're gonna
Where are we feeling?
how the night is gonna progress.
Okay.
Are you guys gonna little peck on the cheek at the end? Go in for a drink, or are you taking this thing home? Are you swinging for the fences? You just gotta wait and see.
Okay, I like that. I'm giving this advice.
We're texting
Via text
in
message
real
as
time.
we
All
go.
right.
All right, let's pop over into. Well, actually, let's Matt brought up a good point with Russell Wilson. The top 15 running backs in or top 15 quarterbacks in our league in 2017. The highest was Russell Wilson. He had 347.9 points. The low of the top 15 quarterback had 168.9 points, which that's a pretty big disparity once you're getting into those lower ones.
Mm-hmm.
The average was 260.8. So overall, it's better to get one of those, top 5, top 6 quarterbacks because they're going to provide you with the 20-plus points a week that you need to get a good foundation for for a win.
And if you don't have one of those guys, you got to play matchups. I
Yep.
mean, you can't ride one of the bottom guys.
Just so we're clear on our draft, $101 were spent on quarterbacks. That's 8% of the total league dollars that were available to be spent. So I think that's potentially low for such a valuable person, but how our league tends to go every year, quarterback spending is ridiculous for the top 3 guys and then falls off completely.
Mm-hmm.
So right kind of on track. Running backs, 46 of them were drafted this year. Taking in the most money was Todd Gurley, then Le'Veon Bell, of which I think that, Hartman spent $39 on Todd Gurley. That's typical Adam Hartman fashion to go out and get the number 1 running back. So nothing goofy there. Le'Veon Bell, who I think is going to have a great year this year, $36. Grieve took him as part of Greaves. I'm going to take 3 guys and spend all of my money on and then just hold out for the end of the draft when I can get everybody else on my team for $1.
$91 and 3 picks, right?
Yep.
Wow.
The most you can possibly spend on 3 picks.
Great strategy.
It takes the decision out of it. You just get the best running back, you get the best tight end, and you get one of the top receivers, whatever you can fit in $91, and then you've got a bunch of low value investments, and you're gonna try and ride the waiver wire and pick up a guy here or there. But you can't have your big guys get hurt. And so you just take it just as it's a gamble. Takes kind of the decision out of it.
Pretty big gamble, if you ask me.
Works sometimes.
True, but you got to be pretty damn active on that waiver wire to make that work.
Yep.
And especially in the first 3 weeks of the season to get that base down, because you might falter those first few weeks of the year.
I have a feeling Mrs. Grieve will not let her GM just play golf and stretch soccer players all song.
Loves getting in there deep.
comb that waiver wire, baby. She comes from winning. I think all she's done is won all her life, unlike her husband. So I think that she's gonna just put the
There's
screws
gotta be a
to him.
button for that.
He's gonna have Leo in one arm and the mouse in the other, and Ella's gonna be there tugging at his pant leg, and she's gonna just make him stare at that waiver wire until they get the diamond in the rough.
Well said.
Well said.
Well said.
All right. Of the running backs, it's a pretty important position in our league. On average, last year, of the top 24 running backs, they scored 198.64 points for the season, which is pretty damn good. The high was 351.3 points, and the low of that top 24 was 129.5. So we got to start two of them, potentially one in the flex as well. So having a top half guy and then having either a handcuff or another guy behind him that can step it in and pull you up 10 points a week, really important in this league. Wide receivers, 48 of them taken. So very balanced between running backs and wide receivers this year. The highest was $34, and that was DeAndre Hopkins, and that was taken by Soup de Jour. Second was Michael Thomas by $33 by Max with the second X because he's awesome. And
That's freaking crazy. $33 for Michael Thomas is crazy.
You're just praying that he's got somebody that can throw him the ball.
He didn't have terrible numbers last year.
No, but Antonio Brown went for 32.
Yeah.
Who about him?
I don't know. Yeah, I regretted that one when it happened.
I mean, really, kind of out of here. Stephon Diggs for $26. I don't see spending that much
ridiculous.
money for him, especially when defense is key on him. And last year, the catches that he gets and the targets that he gets, he works his ass off for. And I just don't know if that's sustainable for the entire year. And hopefully it is, and he becomes, kind of in that elite wide receiver at range. But I think it's going to be taking another step to beat some of the best cornerbacks and safeties that he's going to see all season long.
I think everybody trusts his skill, but the guy's never had a 1,000-yard receiving season ever, and that's top 10, probably top 5, on the verge of top 5 wide receiver money.
Straight cash, homie.
Could have happened, sure, but I would say that that's probably the top end. I mean, best case scenario, you get your money's worth.
All right, some of the bargain buys, down the road here, Randall Cobb for $2.
He sucks. He's
Nelson
terrible.
Aguilar, Grieve got him for $1. He also took Deshaun Jackson. Let's just break down Grieve here for a second. Grieve spent $1 on Robbie Anderson, $1 on Nelson Aguilar, $1 on Deshaun Jackson, and $1 on Martavius Bryant. Are you kidding me?
Well, it's a low investment, right?
Yeah, but I mean, how many touches or targets are these guys going to get a game? Maybe a combined 8 out of 4 guys.
Yeah.
Let's not forget to point out that he has Baker Mayfield. I mean, that's huge.
Oh, just
huge.
a big buy. Is that his only quarterback?
Well, he got Derek Carr, but I like the Baker Mayfield pick better.
Yeah. All right, then let's pop in. We can look kind of at some 2017 stats here. Top 24 wide receivers in 2017 averaged 191 points for the season. The top wide receiver had 261 points, so you can see that kind of disparity. But I think that the opportunity to get 2 guys in the top 24 really is there for our league, and hopefully they produce for you to get 2 guys and get quite a few points.
Yeah, we keep seeing wide receiver spending slipping further and further and further. This is, I think, 3 years in a row now with decreased wide receiver spending, and the first time in 3 years I think that we've spent more on running backs than receivers. So there's definitely a shift happening here. Last year didn't help. Maybe it was 2 years ago. where all the money came in on wide receivers and you just had a bunch of guys fall flat. You just didn't have anybody post huge numbers, and then you saw guys like Melvin Gordon step up. You know, some of these young running backs step up and have really big years. John had a lot of success with a couple of guys that were not big name guys, and now you see it just shifting, you know, in reaction to that.
Yeah, I think we have it's finally, I think the running back, you guys can tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I think the running back crop is a lot better this year than it has been, which has caused the downfall. And there's a lot to pick from in wide receivers, especially with guys like Golden Tate and Marvin Jones Jr. and even like Devontae Adams, just no-name guys that
You've got a lot of contributors around the league, the way that passing offenses are now. You've got a lot of guys racking up decent passing stats. And you also have running games that you have more explosive upside running backs than you have had in quite a few years.
True. And I feel like those out routes that used to be always just a slot guy are getting run by running backs now.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're just so much more versatile in fantasy scoring for our league setup that, if you have a good running back that's going to catch the ball out of the backfield as well as get, 15, 20 carries a game.
I can't remember what commentator said it, but they basically said a swing pass is just another form of a running play.
It's a sweep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sweep with your running back getting 2 more steps of speed. So, yeah, I agree. Last position that we're going to look at individually here is the defenses. There were 12 taken, obviously. $6 were spent on the Patriots by the Lord Commander, Matt Train. $6 spent by Jeff and the Jags on the Jags, and $5 spent on the Eagles. Kind of the big 3 defenses this year. You could say that the Vikings could be folded into that too. They were bought for $3. I think with one season under our belts on those defensive rules, people are kind of understanding it a little better, and the guys that are going to use this as a 20-point player every week or a 15-point player every week got their guys and spent money to do so.
Yeah, it's still is a tough position because you still didn't see nearly as much money as tight ends even, but it's tough to predict. Vikings looking good now with that Cincy safety that they signed today, but it's tough to predict, and the differentiation between the good and the middle is kind of hard to find sometimes. So I think it's still going to be a position that's very matchup dependent, but definitely people are realizing the importance of spending some time looking at it.
Exactly right. So overall, I think there were 6 Vikings taken, including the defense. Spending on Vikings players was way up.
Yes.
People are drinking the Kool-Aid. I hope they came back down a little bit after that preseason game last Saturday, where we looked like garbage all the way around. One aside from that,
I don't have buyer's remorse. I'm just saying.
You spent way too much money.
You need to watch your own goddamn bobber and just focus on your team.
$29.
And you're just lucky the commish changed the schedule, because I was ready to mop the floor with your
bullshit.
ass.
My team is way better than yours.
Oh, shit. Well, yeah. Which quarterback are you going to start? Because you'll probably fuck that up like you did last year.
Why? I got value pick, got unlucky.
I got value. Yeah, we'll see how far your value goes.
All right. I'll be laughing when Tom Brady's kicking ass all season long with a fucking 6'8", 400-pound mountain in front of him.
No, with your luck, the mountain will probably land on his tibia and snap it in half like a toothpick.
True.
Yeah, big guys like that don't stay healthy, typically.
The guy can run a 40 faster than John, so, still feeling good.
I'm not even gonna dignify that with an answer.
That's the truth. All right. a couple other notes that I had from the draft. Derek drafted 3 Chiefs, which is kind of goofy. He's not here to defend himself, but that's going to pose some issues, I would imagine, on whatever week their bye is.
Yeah, he probably won't lean on Patrick Mahomes, I don't think. I don't see who else he got for quarterback. Maybe he will. But Kelsey and Tyreek Hill have got to be the 2 main targets at least.
True.
I guarantee Derek pleasured himself when he watched the highlights of that 70-yard just bomb from Mahomes to Hill last week.
It's first team All-State. I can put the ball wherever I want to. I'll make it rain out here.
I had Tyreek Hill last year. He was a great pickup for me. I like that guy a lot.
But I was more impressed with Mahomes' arm.
Good
it was just
for you.
shot. Oh, shut up.
True. All right, let's take a look here at everybody's way too early power rankings. We're about a week in. Everybody's been able to sleep on this for a little bit. John, give me your top 2 teams coming out of the draft. Who do you like?
Hands down, Trevor Sapir did a great job. I'm starting to think he might actually know something about fantasy football because I don't think we can blame this on internet connection or Tanner.
I think he did it.
Or even Easton drafting for him. Or maybe Easton did draft him for him. I don't know. But coming out of this, I really like Trevor's position players. He's got a strong team, and he even has a few decent backups. So I like Trevor's team, and I will say I don't mind Max's team at all either. I think Max has got a pretty good team, which just again shows you what the toughest division in the Busch League is.
I don't know about that.
In the senior division.
I don't know.
If you just look at all 3 of our teams, I don't know who's going to win. It's just so.
That doesn't mean you're all good.
These guys had
we're pretty good.
a division.
I think
owners
we've actually
meeting
had the last 2 out of 3 champions, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
you have had
Yeah.
tremendous success in the playoffs. Yes, you have.
Yeah, okay.
Great.
I will say this. Drew Vogt's team absolutely fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's not good.
This thing is an atrocity.
It's not
I've seen better shit on the sidewalk than this team. For God's sakes.
All right, Matt, who are your top 2 teams?
I mean, I know he's busy, but good God, man. Do you even care anymore?
No, and it's funny because we should expect it by now, right? I mean,
Yes.
It's been year after year of this stuff. Nothing's ever going to change. It's going to be the same thing next year.
He needs to go back to dumpster fire, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is like, this is like one of those Hollywood sad stories where like he was so innovative, and we're all just hoping that he gets back to it, and he just cannot find it wherever it's at.
It wasn't skill in the first place. It was luck. It was luck.
Yeah.
I have to agree. I like Max's team as well. And if you guys remember at all, I ripped Max like crazy last year. I thought his draft was terrible. It was. He picked up a few guys. He did really well on the waiver wire. Ended up scoring more points than I did. I lost a bet on that. I owe him golf. But this year I like his team a lot. I found myself competing with players with Derek constantly all night long, so I like Derek's team. And as a dark horse, I'll add a guy who's due for some success. I think, Dave, I like your team this year. It would be an all-star team like 5 years ago. It would be literally an all-star team. But I still think you got good value with some of those old vets that I like. You got some good dark horses, some good horses. Regular, tote the rock type horses. So,
got a few guys. Pretty happy with my squad. Thanks for the compliment, obviously. Feeling good about it so far. Like you said, could go one of 2 ways. Either these old guys are going to get hurt, or they're going to be washed up and not score very many points. But we'll see what happens and go from there. Typical 2 quarterback offense that we run.
Yep.
Flip them in and out, play the matchups. But we'll see where that goes. I think my favorite team out of this year is the Soup du Jour. Great squad. It was kind of just weird with the draft, and it didn't feel like Trev was getting anybody. And then the next thing you know, you kind of look at his team, and he's putting some pieces together, and you're going, okay. And that was kind of the same with Max. He didn't seem to bid on everybody, which, if you look at the transcript, I bid on everybody at least $1. Going forward, I think both those guys are going to have a pretty good year. Max is in a pretty easy division, and Soup's going to be all right. I think Hartman Adam is I don't like really Adam Hartman's team that much. Couple good flashy guys. I just don't think he's going to get the back end help that he usually gets out of one of these players. So I'm going to say my two teams that I don't like are the Heart Attack and blame it on that kombucha / the breast implants, because I don't think Greaves' team is fully complete.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Phil in that Carroll House division. That thing needs to be turned upside down here one of these years. David Johnson solid, Rogers solid, Baldwin solid, Jordan Howard was a nice value, I think. Jarvis Landry is as underrated receiver as there is in the league, but playing for Cleveland, you never know. So, go Phil.
2 weeks out, boys, from those first matchups. I think I got Philly Dog in the first week. Should be great. Johnny, you know who you're playing? Have you looked?
I get the dumpster fire, so that's pretty much a guaranteed win to start the season off.
Just really sliding right in.
Start to people.
That's great. Matt, who you got?
I've got Max Ponte, Team Ponte.
Ooh, that's going to be tough. That's going to be like a match of the week.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. It might be the match of the week 1. All right. Looking forward, I think we got 18 weeks of podcasts coming up for everybody. It's going to be great. We're going to keep integrating on the live stream here. We're going to get back up so you guys can download some of these episodes and listen to them we're going to be podcasting on Wednesdays this year. So you'll have a live stream out right away. We'll get a downloadable version out soon after that for you guys that need a little bit of pep in the end of the year week. And, same great stuff. We're going to get guests on. We're going to get people on over the phone. We've upgraded our equipment quite a bit, so we'll be able to really maximize this podcast going forward. For you, those of you listening that are looking for, real fantasy advice, basically take everything we say with a grain of salt. Because we're really good at stealing other people's takes. So if you really like the guys from ESPN or Paul Charchian or DraftNasty.com, you're probably going to see a lot of us agreeing with those takes that those guys have. So should be great. Vikings in 2 weeks open up with the Niners. Next week we got Gophers against New Mexico State, Thursday night, 6 o'clock. Year 1 of PJ Fleck. Everybody's excited. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.